Hi, my name is Min. I'm Nathan.
My name is Ricardo.
I'm part of the class of 2021. I graduated class of 2022.
I'm currently a graduate student in physics,
I TA'd for CS 101. I TA'd for EGR 103.
and I'm currently TAing for 3 different classes in the physics department. So that's physics 151, 152, and 141.
I was looking for a job that paid relatively well and had really flexible hours. It paid. I didn't mind. It wasn't too bad. I actually did well in the class.
I did not have an option. So if you're a graduate student, you pretty much have to use your first year or two to TA in order to get actual stipend.
My grading philosophy? Well, if you got it right, you got all the points. If you didn't get it right, you didn't get the points.
I think generally it's points for understanding. So oftentimes a person could completely get the wrong answer and it would get almost as many points as someone who got the right answer.
You can have different lines of code. How you write code could be different, but the code has to work.
In the case of this student who got almost the same amount of points, they wrote a lot about what they understood the problem to be doing. And so they used the right equations, they used the right thought process. And so it just made sense to give a similar amount of points.
For 101, I distinctly remember a lot of grading lab reports. And so the way I would grade it is, first off, did you try? And the second is whether you actually understood the concept or not. Fake it till you make it. There are many ways of getting partial credit. So you could have the numbers wrong, but you at least have the formula correct and the idea correct, then I'll give you credit.
Writing some sort of answer is always good, just because it gives us something to go off. Generally, we don't want to give anyone a 0. Say how you think it applies to the problem, or say how you would apply it in a similar problem. I may give partial credit for some of the related ideas. So if you choose the wrong equation, I still may give credit.
Professors they're way less concerned about whether you get the exact numbers, obviously, than whether you actually understood the whatever they're trying to teach. Run through your thing one more time. People often leave questions blank. Just put anything down. You might get some partial credit. And it might be right. I one time did that. I just kind of just vomited something onto the paper and I got credit for some of it. I despise bad handwriting.
I think it's a lot easier to grade someone who has a very nice handwriting versus someone who's not. And the easier that it is to grade, the more likely we are to give partial credit.
But if I can't read it, I get upset and I am very prone to not giving you points.
Not necessarily. It might just end up taking your TA.
If you actually give a short, direct answer, I'm more likely to give you credit because you're kind of wasting the TA's time if you put a lot of mumbo jumbo at the end, trying to say that you understand it, but you actually don't. Students who go to TA lectures, the people who went to office hours, even though they might not have understood the material as well, they at least were able to get further in their lab reports.
So I actually dealt with a lot of the students in lab that I ended up grading in the tests. And generally what I saw is just an attitude to want to ask more questions.
Go to classes, actually pay attention, read the material assigned to you, actually do the homework. If you do all those things, there's no reason why you should fail the class. TAs often hold office hours. If you have questions, don't be scared to ask questions. That's why we're getting paid.
TA office hours are very good.
Go to lab. I don't say necessarily go to lecture, go to lab. There's at least 4 to 5 TAs on standby to help. There's often this fear that you think that you might look stupid or dumb when you're asking questions, but you look really dumb if you get a 0 on the test. So it's better to ask early and ask a lot.
So TAing generally is a very personal thing. Doing partial credit at all requires us to put a lot of extra effort. What ends up not wanting us to give partial credit is usually very long lines of text, very long reread requests over 0.1 points or something like that. Generally, anything that feels like, you are a machine for us to keep pumping out, maximizing numbers. We are a person, we're not a machine, so we do remember names that keep coming up. And so that makes us less likely to want to help that person out.